Well, I guess the best way to describe the trading deadline for the Dodgers is speak softly and carry a big stick. What's up, everybody? I'm Jim Rodriguez, and welcome to the post-trading deadline and the weekend edition of Dodgers Latest here on our YouTube channel. Yesterday, we broke down everything that we thought was going to happen, had some big numbers. Thanks for tuning into that. Today, we'll talk about what did happen for the Dodgers, and of course, we want you to always hit us up on our YouTube channel, like, comment, hit that little thumbs up button, share, tell your friends, and make that subscriber count go up. We've had a very good week, had a very good run here on Dodgers Latest, so let's keep it going. Getting close to a milestone in terms of subscribers, and that's a big thank you to you. And of course, you can always hit me up on X and on Instagram right there at JRodShow. All right, so real quiet trading deadline for the Dodgers. You know, one of our viewers nailed it, said, hey, it looks like Andrew Friedman did all the work in the offseason. And he kind of did. I mean, you know, re-signed Teoscar, got Sasaki. You know, I guess, you know, it may not have worked out in terms of injuries and performance, but he did get this team ready, and now it's just a matter of plug and play. Of course, obviously, one of the moves, Dustin May going to the Red Sox. The Dodgers have traded him for James Tibbs III. Funny thing about James Tibbs III, he's from Florida State, 13th overall pick. He came in the deal from San Francisco to Boston, in the deal that sent Rafael Devers to the Giants. So the Red Sox quickly flip him back to the Dodgers as they get Dustin May to try to help them out on the rotation. And the big man, you know, before we get into all the moves the Dodgers have made, the Padres went wild, right? You know, right now they sit 3 games behind the Dodgers in the National League West, and this is going to get exciting. Padres went wild. They got closer Mason Miller. They got a guy named J.P. Sears from the A's as well to try to help that rotation. They got Ryan O'Hearn, Ramon Laureano, Nestor Cortez. Remember Nestor? Grand Slam, Freddie Freeman, World Series. Well, Nestor's now a Padre, man. This thing just writes itself, right? And, of course, they got catcher Freddie Fermin. Listen, I'm not scared at all of that Padres starting rotation. J.P. Sears is not going to really put them over the top. That bullpen is amazing, especially at the back end now with the closer Mason Miller. We'll see how it turns out. Padres, you know, are desperate. It seems like every trading deadline they're going for it. 3 games behind the Dodgers. They've got 6 games coming up in the next couple of weeks. 3 in LA and 3 in San Diego, and things should get very interesting. All right, so we talked about Dustin May going to the Red Sox. It was just a numbers move for Dustin, especially now that Blake Snell is in the rotation. He's going to pitch Saturday, tomorrow, in Tampa Bay. So the Dodgers now talk about the guys that are here. One of them is Brock Stewart. You know, in fact, it's funny. This is Brock Stewart's second time with the Dodgers. He pitched for the Dodgers from 2016 to 2019. Kind of did some starting, kind of did some bullpen, ended up going to the Blue Jays and bounced around and ended up with the Twins. It seems like he really found himself in Minnesota. And yeah, he is going to be a high leverage, you know, maybe 6th, 7th inning guy, right-handed pitcher coming out of the pen. He's got an ERA of 2.38 this year, a whip of 1.09. Pretty good swing and miss, 41 strikeouts in 34 innings pitched. But he's going to be that guy, you know, to come in against right-handed hitters and try to sort of bridge it over to the closers and to the late inning guys. Who will that be? Well, we saw Alex Vesia close a game on Tuesday in Cincinnati. Tanner Scott kind of fighting it, both mentally, physically. He's the closer for now, but Doc hasn't said he's not. But Brock Stewart's going to come in for that high leverage outs in the 6th and 7th inning. Pretty good move. Of course, the Dodgers traded James Outman to Minnesota to get Brock Stewart. So good luck to James in Minnesota. Boy, Twins went wild, right? They traded, 9 people from their starting, these were minor leaguers. Carlos Correa, Harrison Butter, Yuan Duran, Griffin Jackson. It seems like they traded the whole starting lineup to try to get under the $400 million in debt that they are. A new ownership coming up. It's strange times in Minnesota, but it looks like James Outman's going to get a fresh start. And he'll play every day in Minnesota, so we want to wish him the best. All right, another move the Dodgers made is Alex Call from the Washington Nationals. Dodgers traded a couple of pitching prospects for him now. Who is Alex Call? What is this kind of move? Well, to me, you got a guy who can play all the outfield spots. He's great against left-handed pitching. And I think his role is going to be kind of like a Kike Hernandez kind of role. Plug and play, perfect, quintessential Dodger utility player, mainly going to play in the all in the outfield. And it also tells me that I don't think Kike is right. It seems like he's had some elbow problems. I don't know if he's going to be back for the remainder of the year. This thing is a little bit more serious than I think we thought, and I think Alex Call will be there to essentially be Kike Hernandez type of player. Little pop, not a lot of pop, but again, I think he's there against lefties, can play all the outfield spots. The one problem with Alex Call is that he wears 17. Well, that's not going to happen in LA. He's going to have to find himself a new number. Call hitting 274 this year, OPS of 757. Little pop, not a lot. Doubles guy. I think he'll be an interesting plug and play guy, kind of like a Tommy Edman, but for the outfield. So good to see Alex Call, see what he can do for the Dodgers. All right, finally, well, it's Kershaw Day. That's right. He's going to open up the series. We got to get back to work, right? Back to baseball. Dodgers spending the weekend in Tampa, literally, not St. Petersburg, but Tampa, playing the Tampa Bay Rays, who all of a sudden, they made a bunch of trades. Griffin Jax, who was with the Twins, he ended up going to Tampa, and he may be their closer moving forward. Dodgers obviously were in the mix with Griffin Jax for a second, but now Jax is in Tampa. Interesting situation. Rays were fighting it out for the division. They're 10 back in the East now, but they're only 4 out of the wild card. So there was a kind of a soft buyer market for them. And of course, Kevin Cash and the Rays, they always find a way to be in the mix somehow. So it'll be Kershaw tonight for the Dodgers. And Kershaw had a really bad start his last time out against the Red Sox. Kind of got roughed up. And in fact, his last 2 starts, he's gone a total of 9 innings, 4 2/3, 4 1/3, 11 hits, 5 earned runs, only 4 strikeouts. So he obviously started so well. We'll see what we can do against a Tampa Bay team that, they're kind of like a Forrest Gump box of chocolates. You don't know what you're going to get. They got a lot of young, interesting hitters. It'll be interesting to see. Of course, they're playing in the Yankees spring training complex. Remember, the Tropicana Field got destroyed. The roof got destroyed during a storm in St. Petersburg, so no more dome there. They're playing outdoor in the Yankees spring training complex in Tampa, right across the street from the Buccaneers Raymond James Stadium. So it'll be interesting to see how that plays for the Dodgers. Of course, Kershaw tonight. Blake Snell is back. He will pitch tomorrow, his first time back on the mound since April the 2nd. So it'll be good to see Blake, to see how long he can do and what he can put together on Saturday against his old team. And then on Sunday, it'll be Yoshinobu Yamamoto, who was brilliant his last time out Monday in Cincinnati. He'll take to the mound. He's been the only guy that's been giving them innings. He went 7 innings against Cincinnati. And then the Dodgers fly cross country, get back home to open up a 6-game homestand. 3 with the Cardinals, 3 with the Blue Jays. Hit the road for a quick little 3-game series in Orange County against the Angels. And then home against the Padres. And remember, Dodgers start the day 3 games ahead of the Padres in the National League West. Dodgers sitting with the 2nd best record in the National League. All right, trading deadline is done. Ready to get back to work. Dodgers and Rays over the weekend. We'll have it all for you on Monday as we get back to it. I'm Jim Rodriguez. Remember, you can always hit me up on X and on Instagram at JRodShow. Thanks for liking us, subscribing. Keep it up. Get those subscriber counts up. I'm Jim Rodriguez. Enjoy the weekend. And remember, it's always time for Dodger baseball.